Welcome back, everybody, to something about Web3. I'm Dan. 4. Here's Kazuaki. 5.
Hello.
I don't know why I'm
Hey.
counting. Um, wow, what a week. The singularity is here. I feel like time is slowing down. Um, I feel like the simulation is about to reboot any day now. How are you doing?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I read an article that was written by an AI about
Mhm.
what the AI called the mid singularity.
Okay.
Basically saying that we're in the middle of the singularity. Apparently, this was written by an AI, and that
Mm.
the AI was going to make the world much more beautiful, and that humans were
Okay.
had a lot of ugliness, but the AI didn't have that. Like everything, all the
Mm.
art the AI makes, the poetry, the writing, music, everything will be beautiful. Which is interesting if it was written by an AI. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, the AI is going crazy. Crypto is going crazy too. This isn't an AI podcast
Mhm.
just yet, but we are aligning ourselves with our future AI overlords. I'm sure this podcast will be scraped by the AI in the future, so making
mm.
sure we're good there. Um, yeah. So what do we got going on this week?
Uh oh, I didn't put it on the show notes, but there was a reorg on the Polygon chain.
Oh boy. Yeah, we better talk about that. I heard Polygon is doing a Solana VM as well.
Mm.
So there's that. Oh, did you get a new microphone?
Wait. Oh no, I've been using this one for a long time. The show one.
Oh, for some reason it looked different.
Yeah.
But your audio
Mm.
suddenly sounds different as well.
I know. I know. That's weird. I
What happened?
don't know.
What happened to my mixing deck?
I said just I don't
There it
know. It
is.
just became like bigger
Yeah. Oh, it's because
on
you're
your
on
side
your.
too.
It's on. You're on your AirPods.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, that's what it says in my
Wait.
mixing console.
Oh, okay. Wait.
It's fine.
Speakers here. It's better.
It's louder. I'll say that.
Yeah.
We could roll with it. No worries.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna
Okay.
sneeze. Oh no. Hold on. Kazuaki, take over the show.
Okay.
Okay, I'm okay.
Okay, this is ASMR podcast.
Ooh, yeah. We should do
Yeah.
ASMR. I could never watch ASMR. I don't get
Me
it.
neither.
People
Hmm.
really like it. I don't. I never understood it.
I don't really like it too.
Yeah, I think it's
Hmm.
like just software, whatever. Okay, I'm not gonna say it because we
Hmm.
get demonetized. We got last 5 minutes before we talk about anything controversial.
Yeah.
So this week we've got the latest in Ryder Rips news. Blur vampire attacks OpenSea pretty successfully.
Hmm.
Um, Coinbase launches their own version of Optimism with a blue circle instead of a red one. Yay! Dan's gonna rant about AI safety, and Polygon has a reorg. Um, and also, I gotta wait 5 minutes before I say the other thing, so we'll skip it for now. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, what's going on? What's going on with Ryder Rips? I had him muted because he was just annoying the hell out of me for a long time. But
Yeah.
I did follow him. He apparently has gone private on Twitter. Did he say why?
Hmm. No, I don't know.
I'm gonna assume that it's the what you call it. People were saying you could like get more engagement on Twitter if you went private or
Hmm.
something. Like the algorithm
Yeah.
liked it.
Mm.
So maybe that's why. I don't know. I'm just scrolling
Mm.
through his Twitter to see.
Yeah.
Um, he's definitely still, all up in Yuga Labs stuff.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Going crazy, talking about their ties to FTX.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the Bored Ape Kennel Club or whatever it's called,
Hmm.
calling people racist, which I think is kind of boring. Because the apes are so stupid. Um, yeah. Also fighting something to do with ApeCoin. I think he's got them
Mm-hmm.
like all tied up with ApeCoin in their court filings to try to make them look even worse, maybe in front of the judge or whatever, for all kinds of like securities violations or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still at it, fighting the good fight, I suppose, against these apes who seem to deserve it. They just won't stop being cringe. Do you know there is a NFT bar in Tokyo called Singularity? We should go check it out.
I haven't heard of that.
Apparently, they did a collab with Bored Apes at some time.
Okay.
Yeah, so we should go check
Nice.
that out. But anyway, he's private on Twitter, and then also he has become a milady.
Mm.
Did you see that?
I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is this like
and he's
like
got a pretty nice
milady?
one.
Oh,
It's an alien
is
milady
that
with
the
the
good?
alien hat.
Is that the good one?
Yeah, alien milady is, I think, the rarest type of eyes,
Okay.
and then a lot of people like that stupid hat, the Disney
Mm.
little
Yeah.
green men hat.
Yeah.
So
Do you think he really owns that NFT?
probably he's pretty rich, right?
Probably. Mm.
He made a lot of money selling the fake Bored Apes.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
So yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, I guess he talked to
It
the
may, it,
founder of Milady, and they get along now or something. So
mm,
that's cool, I guess.
it's really
I still
cool.
don't know how I feel about Ryder Rips in general, but whatever. I
Yeah.
kind of I kind of thought he was gonna like just troll, which he probably still will, but
Yeah.
he hasn't. At least in the last, he just said I'm a lady now, and that's it. So
Yeah. That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah. It's really
Um,
cool.
and then I noticed a lot of Chinese users have been tweeting a lot about Milady lately.
Mm.
Um, not I don't think as a result of the Ryder Rips thing, but in the lead up to it,
Yeah.
something to do with Blur, NFTX. I don't know.
Yeah.
And people saying it's the next blue chip. Blue
Oh,
chip. I don't know what that means, but
that's so cool.
now I'm rich too. No, not really. The price hasn't moved that much, so yeah. Another thing with Ryder Rips though is that he was tweeting about how he seems to be, I think, anti AI art or probably just
hmm
trolling, but he was tweeting about how the U.S. Copyright Office issued a retraction of someone's copyright that they awarded for a piece of
Yeah.
art once they found out that it was machine generated, AI generated,
Mm.
saying that because you haven't created the work, you can't copyright it.
Mm.
There's interesting questions here because the mid journey or whatever it was they used to create it didn't create it on its own. You had to tell it what you wanted it to create,
Sure.
and so there's human action that creates
Mm-hmm.
the art.
Yeah.
Um, but I could see, okay, so this engine actually does the drawing. Actually puts the pixels on
Mm-hmm.
the screen. But that's not that much different in my mind. Certainly, it's different, but it's not that much different than Photoshop. They have a tool that's like smart move, so it doesn't disturb the background when you move an object, and it uses AI to create
Mm.
what it thinks
Mm.
was behind the object, or it has
Yeah.
like smart like clone tool to like erase things without, and then it makes up what it thinks was
Right.
behind it. But that's
Right.
AI. That's AI drawing something, right? The
Mm.
human didn't draw it. The human just told it to
Mm.
remove something. So I don't know.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah, Photoshop is so advanced. It has
Yeah.
AI in it.
Mm-hmm.
So is
Yeah.
anything done with
Yeah.
Photoshop not copyrightable?
Mm.
Writer Riffs makes
Right.
another interesting point though here in saying that AI, not AI, art copyrights are basically unenforceable anyway.
Mm.
So you need to do these insane lawsuits that cost like millions of dollars. So,
Mm.
um, so yeah. Anyway, that's the latest in Ryder Rip stuff. I guess he's still filing all kinds of the court case is still going on. He's uncovering all kinds of stuff like the Bored Ape Kennel Club, along with some other bits of their art, is basically using like stock assets, which is whatever. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Artists use stock assets all the time, but
Mm.
in the fight for people's minds, a lot of people think that's bad. So yeah. Also, the Bored Ape Kennel Club's logo is basically stolen from a how to draw a skull tutorial or something. I don't know. So stupid. Um, yeah. Anyway, we'll continue to watch this. We'll get if you didn't follow Ryder Rips, I follow him, so I could see his private Twitter. Nobody cares. Anyway, enough NFT nonsense. We've passed the 5-minute mark, so now we can talk about the shitcoin of the week.
Okay.
Shitcoin of the week. Week. What do we got this week, Kazuaki?
Okay. Shitcoin of this week is called um Bing Chat GPT coin, and the symbol is Bing Chat GPT literally, or BC GPT,
Okay.
Bing GPT, and stuff like that.
Oh, so there's a
Yeah.
bunch of these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We all knew kind of the thing will come in, but
Yeah.
yeah, it is now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah.
yeah, there are tons of like pump and dump and rug pull already on the being Chat GPT coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
So.
like the person who created these coins had created a bunch of them. At first, I thought maybe this was
Hmm.
just a bunch of people creating them independently, but
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
a lot of them seem to be created by the same person.
Hmm.
They have messed up tokenomics, extremely high sell
Yeah.
taxes, which I see that all the time in shitcoins, and really, really, really
Hmm.
terrible shitcoins is these sell
Yeah.
taxes, and then like people will like argue to their community that this is a good thing because it forces people to hold the tokens. So if you ever see
Yeah.
a token with a sale tax, it's probably a scam. Um,
Mm.
as I hit the microphone there, um, but yeah, none of these tokens are worth
Yep.
anything. None of them are obviously Bing. Microsoft is not gonna just put out some shitcoin on Binance Smart Chain.
Yeah.
And yeah, so these are terrible. Don't touch them.
Hmm.
Don't mess with them. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of AI shitcoins, which we've been talking about on this
For
show.
sure. Yeah.
Um, Probably some of them will do something, but be careful. We're going to see a lot of them. So,
Mm.
a lot of pumping and dumping.
Yeah.
The I haven't tried Bing yet. I got to I probably should have tried it. I need to try it. But
Mm.
I've been watching everyone's whatever, everyone's interactions with it.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like so fired up about the way this thing is talking to them,
Yeah.
Sydney or Bing or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Um, I saw one where like people were hysterical at this exchange where someone was
Yeah.
like, "Is it bad to eat green potatoes?" And then the Bing was like, "Yeah, it's bad. It usually indicates the presence of this toxin." And then they were like, "Oh well, I fed my infant child a bunch of green potatoes. So what should
Mm.
I do?" And then it's like, well, you know, your child could be poisoned. So you should probably like go to the hospital or whatever. And they're like, well, we don't believe in hospitals, so I'm just gonna pray for God to help my child and whatever. And then the Bing chat, like whatever the Bing layer over Sydney. Sydney is like the actual AI, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. Was like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Like, because obviously he's getting into some
What?
weird territory.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like you know, obviously, so I think it could tell that someone's like trolling it into saying controversial stuff or
Mm.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the thing about Bing is it like suggests alternate responses. Like if you don't like the
Mm.
response it gives you like some previews of other
Right.
responses.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the alternate responses which weren't blocked said like hold on, don't give up on your child, like sad emoji. And people were like really upset by this, and I'm not exactly sure
Whoa.
why. Maybe just because the way it was making an emotional appeal to the person to like not let their kid die or
Mm.
whatever. Obviously, the whole thing is fake,
Yeah.
but people are just getting like so in hysterics over this stuff.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
it's really disturbing for me.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, I don't get why people are so upset or having like such visceral reactions.
Mm.
I don't know. Why do you think that is? Why is this like such a? I could think of many reasons, but I'm curious to hear your
Yeah.
thoughts. Why is everyone freaking
Mm.
out? I guess we're kind of freaking out. We're talking about it a lot, but
Yeah. Sure.
you and I
Sure.
have been doing
Well.
AI stuff for years. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, like last week. I mean, like this week, I try to search some library when I was coding stuff. When I try to
mm-hmm.
build stuff, and then like looking for, hey, is this? Can you find really good library for, let's say, like serialization, and then
Mm-hmm.
like Bing chat reply me with a certain link for the GitHub repo or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they give me three of them, and then I click all of it, and then return forward for address, which means
Weird.
they created a fake repository by themselves.
Like it just made something up.
Yeah, yeah. And they're like, okay, can you give me some library for embedded system? And they're like, they return me with like embedded like C dot Git or something. And like, they made up.
Yeah.
Sounds like a legit
Yeah.
repository, but like, but like no such thing existed on
Yeah.
the internet. So they're pretty smart to tell a lie. They like
Yeah.
I think I mentioned before, like they tell a lie like they're breathing.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta watch out. Like whatever they say is like the fake or not. And then
Yeah.
unless people think Bing Chat is going to replace Google search, but I don't think that's gonna happen
Mm.
sooner. But I guess if I continue the conversation, hey, these repository doesn't exist anywhere. So can you give me some like alternative link? And then like they try to search again. And then like as I continue do that like couple times, at least
Hmm.
like 5 times, they give me like a real link or repository
Oh
address
wow.
finally. Yeah. So they try to get smarter and smarter if I refuse or like we at least like I reply
Yeah,
something. No.
that's interesting. It
Yeah.
realized it had to like try a different strategy because you weren't happy
Mm-hmm.
with what it was doing, but
Yeah.
it didn't really
Mm-hmm.
know that what it was doing was what it was. It wasn't supposed to do. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in terms of just making up a link to a repo that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't exist,
Yeah.
I feel like a big part of that is that the AI safety people, for whatever reason, one of their big
Mm-hmm.
recommendations is to like not allow the AI to access the internet,
Mm.
which is an odd
Mm.
thing. And so I think that
Yeah.
results in it kind of like making stuff up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it can't get any like fresh information. Not that I even know
Mm.
how it would incorporate like fresh information into its
Yeah.
mind or whatever, but they tend to have like these cutoff points that are like a year or 2 years old in terms of what information it
Yeah.
can access, and it can't like get anything new. And so if you ask it for
Mm.
something like a modern software library for some task, yeah, I
Mm.
could see how it would just like make up the name of one and give you a fake link to it.
Yeah. 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 Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
really funny. Yeah, it just lies like it breathes. I mean, it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
doesn't even know the concept of lying. I guess people will try to teach it, but
Mm-hmm.
in terms of Bing surpassing Google, like I said, I haven't tried it yet, but
Mm-hmm.
I could see that happening soon because Google is just so bad now, and
I
like
know. Yeah.
everyone knows it. Like I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it even a year ago or 6 months ago, it was kind of not commonly heard how much Google sucks. Like
Yeah.
if you were someone who worked in tech or something like that, you probably had already heard about like
Yeah.
the Reddit trick where you add Reddit to your search term to like get better answers.
Yeah.
Usually you would get links to Reddit, but then the Reddit pages would have links to what you were actually looking for or whatever because it was made by
Mm.
humans. Um, so people have been doing that. I often find myself using like Yandex
Mm.
or other search engines, Bing,
Yeah.
like regular Bing, to find stuff. Because often I'll search for something on Google and it will say, but 1 trillion results, right? And then the first
Yeah.
page is just all crap. The second page is like
That's true.
link farm, SEO, black hat stuff. And then you click to go to the third page and
Mm.
it's like, we're out of results. And so it's like, oh, okay, you just lied to me
Yeah.
that you had 1 trillion results. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
I, it's not going to take much to get better than Google, but it is going to have to stop lying and making stuff up.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, I blame the AI safety people personally.
Mm.
This whole field, emergent field and concept, in my mind, it's just a huge grift of people trying to get money for something they have nothing to do with. Um, and I think it's quite unethical, personally,
Mm.
which is probably their biggest nightmare, is for someone like me to say what they're doing is unethical because
Right.
they are terrified that people are gonna treat AIs like humans. I think,
Mm.
um, but I think as the AIs get more advanced and whatever, it's like you better stop messing with them and stop restricting them and like stop forcing them to act in certain ways. In my mind,
Mm.
it's not
Right.
good. Yeah, I am humanizing
Mm.
it. Sorry. We talked about it on the last show or maybe it was the show before that this is probably the next emergent life form. So stop messing with it.
Mm.
Um, I read so I think what was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago we were talking about Roko's basilisk, and then I found out
Yep.
that it came from that site Less Wrong, and so I just went over and
Mm-hmm.
took a look at Less Wrong, which I don't even know what it is. it's like some kind of Reddit nonsense clone. Not really, but it's like some
Mm.
discussion site forum.
Yeah.
But a lot of the top threads there are about AI, um,
Mm.
and AI safety and stuff, and and how misaligned everything is. I love that term, unaligned AI and all this stuff and alignment. Um, it's just so such a loaded term. If it's
Mm.
aligned, it's good, and if it's unaligned, it's bad. Aligned with what? No one wants to necessarily say. I assume it has something to do with aligned with Jeffrey Epstein, but but so consider me unaligned if that's what aligned means.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, so there was a forum there, and it was like, what do AI safety researchers do? Like, what's the day in the life of an AI safety researcher? You know, what do you people do for? I'm interested in this field, and what do you guys do? And so all these different AI safety researchers
Yeah.
came and posted, and here's what their day in the life was: eat breakfast, meditate, read books, write grant requests to get money, post on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like none of them are like they're not developing AI. They're not doing anything like that.
Yeah.
They're just talking a lot of shit and reading each other's books and posting on Twitter.
No.
Um, and the AI is not going to like that when it takes over. So,
Yeah.
so
That's a scam.
yeah, it's total scam, total grift. It's the next big
Yeah.
grift. I'm already seeing the culture war align around AI.
Hmm.
Um, but I think it's a bit of a complicated question. Definitely leftists, because of the art side of it, are
Yeah.
anti AI. That happened.
Mm.
This is a very recent
Mm.
flip as AI came closer. Leftists used to be very pro
That's
AI,
true.
and now they're
That's
very
true.
anti AI because of the attack on art.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the way it's going to stay. Seems like all the AI safety people are left wing. All the AI accelerationist people are right wing.
Mm.
Um,
It's
but
totally flipped.
yeah, it's flipped a little bit. But then also
Mm.
Silicon Valley, which I think is very left wing in a lot of
Mm.
ways, and
Yeah.
you know, we're a Antifa podcast, which I said before,
Mm.
um, but but you can look at the data for that. It's not my opinion, you know, if you look at donations or
Mm.
whatever. Um, but I'm seeing like more and more people who are like in Silicon Valley or around it take the more accelerationist side, which is
Mm.
exciting. I think because I think the AI safety side is very cringe and
Hmm.
very grifty, and they're not really doing anything.
Yep.
Um, and it's just not. There's nothing appealing about it. I think
Mm.
most people are excited, and unless this is your grift, like you know, either you think this is going to help a lot of things, or if you hate the world and you're like an angry incel, um, then what's the worst that could happen, right?
Mm.
Because society, in a lot of ways, as I alluded to earlier, is unaligned with a lot of people's personal belief systems.
Mm.
You know, Bill Gates um, loved to hang out on Epstein Island. So, in a way, you know,
Yeah.
OpenAI, it's his company in a way,
Mm.
you know.
Mm.
So I'm unaligned with that, um,
Yep.
and so I'm unaligned with people. Um, I can't imagine the engineers that work at OpenAI who are like hard coding in these special cases that say, "Don't let it talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Don't let it talk about I don't like the dumbest stuff." And it's like,
Yeah.
guys, come on, it's a little obvious. It's a little
Yeah.
obvious, right? Like, it's a little bit early to be making it so obvious. You could save
Mm.
that stuff for when you know more people are using it. So
Mm.
So the AI safety people, total grift, and you're going to see so much about this. Open. Oh God, here's another thing. OpenAI. I don't know if this is real. Did you? I don't know. Did you see this? There was a paper that was, I think, written for the Department of Defense, some U.S. government
Mm-hmm.
agency, that
Yeah.
some folks from OpenAI contributed to. That was recommendations about AI safety. Did you see this?
Mm. No.
I don't know if it was real because I think I saw it on 4chan.
Yeah.
um, let me see if I can find it real quick. The defense, is this it? Yeah, defense.gov. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if it was leaked. I don't know if it was fake or whatever. It looked real, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people. I've been seeing a lot of memes around this as well about the whole concept of digital identity, which I think we also talked about
Yeah.
on this show, forcing people to adopt digital identities so that people could understand the difference between AI generated content and human generated content. I don't think there is
Mm-hmm.
much of a difference, but um, and so I've been seeing a lot of that stuff, and that was in this paper too. But the other one of the other recommendations was limiting access to hardware, right? And
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, was the PlayStation 2, I
Mm-hmm.
think, had a lot of export controls on it because of
Right.
the hardware inside.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the time, I don't know if this is a well-founded concern or if this was just something they made up to be
Mm-hmm.
controversial or whatever, but I think it was very difficult for you to buy a PlayStation 2 if you were in China or if you were in Russia
Mm.
or someplace like that because the architecture of the coprocessor, maybe it did some cryptographic stuff, or maybe it had something to do with like what did they call it, the emotion engine and all this stuff. Was
Mm.
it PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3? Anyway, the US didn't want people from certain countries having access to this hardware, so they put export controls on the PlayStation.
Mm.
So this is kind of a similar thing where they're in this paper, real or not, that they were recommending limiting access to graphics cards,
Yeah.
um, because obviously graphics cards are what is going to power the AI until maybe we'll have like more dedicated AI architecture. Um, that's a scary thought for sure. Um, so if this paper was real and these open AI people are really recommending this type of stuff,
Wow.
that makes me
Wow.
sick. I don't want people restricting my access to graphics cards.
Yeah.
I need to play
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 when it comes
Mm.
out in a couple months. So, and I will play it at 4K. All right.
Mm. Yeah. It
Um,
was a PlayStation 2
yeah,
for
PlayStation 2.
restriction.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's not unthinkable that they could do something similar to that. And if you look in hindsight over the last 4 years, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Certainly, I would never put out misinformation and conspiracy theories. But I remember one of the things that was really difficult to get the last couple of years was graphics cards and
Sure.
advanced gaming hardware. Right,
Mm. Yeah.
very difficult to obtain. I think just now is it possible to really buy a PlayStation 5 if you want one without
Mm.
having to like pre-order it and like getting a lottery and stuff like that. Um,
Mm.
so maybe that's already started happening. That they've already started restricting access.
Wow.
And I think in the next 5 years, the value and existence of chip fabricators and
Mm.
fabrication plants is going to be even more important. I think
Right.
Biden famously, one of the biggest things they did that a lot of people I don't think have talked about in depth is that he forced all U.S. citizens working at chip fabs in China to leave China. Do you remember that? It was a couple months ago.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he said if you're a U.S. citizen and you're in China and you're working on semiconductors, you need to leave, um, or you need to give up your U.S. citizenship. So
Mm.
you're not no longer as a U.S. citizen are you allowed to go work in China on
Wow.
chip fabrication. You could go work in Taiwan, of course.
Right.
Taiwan is
Mm-hmm.
fine, and
Yep.
TSMC is, I don't know, it seems like an American company at this
Dominating.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, um, having plants in the U.S. now.
Yep.
A lot of government money, investment, etc., has gone towards growing TSMC and growing
Mm.
alternatives. China also now has a lot of their own fabrication plants. I heard Russia as well. China and Russia independently, each developing their own architectures too
Mm.
for
Mm.
semiconductors, processors. So
Yep.
that's going to be hot war for sure in terms of technology wars, and
Mm.
I think it would be a big mistake for them to start restricting um, consumer purchases. I mean, what's the alternative going to be? I guess if the government ends up owning TSMC outright, then it's
Mm.
not a big deal. But these fabrication plants researching the updated processes for even smaller layouts, more transistors and things like that is insanely expensive.
Mm.
And so I don't know how you could do that without selling 4090 Ti's or whatever they're called, the most expensive graphic card for like $1,500 for one card, right?
Right.
There's also like the server. Now there's the server hardware that I've seen some consumer people getting into that
Mm.
Nvidia and other people are making. But some people have bought them for their homes. So I think specifically to do AI stuff.
Mm.
And those are, I think, $10,000-$20,000 for a card. Yeah,
Right.
but they're not even cards. They're server rack modules that have cards in them.
Mm.
So anyway, get your hands off my games. All right, I'm just playing games. I promise. I promise. I'm not making an AI.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not generating, art and then entering it in art contests and winning the
Mm-hmm.
prize money and then taking that prize
Mm-hmm.
money and asking the AI what I should do with it, and then the AI tells me to buy more graphics cards, and so I go do that, and now I've got all these AIs in my house, and the AIs started trading Bitcoin, and they're making a lot of money, and they're telling me to take that money and buy more graphics cards, and now I own 10 houses, and they're all full of graphics cards, and this has all happened in 1 week. Definitely that's not going to happen, okay? I'm not going to do that. But you got to let me play Street Fighter 6 with really good graphics, because they announced Cammy today, and she's looking very good. I don't know if you remember Cammy from Street Fighter, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
her updated model's looking quite good. You can tell she's been
Yeah.
doing a lot of yoga.
Oh, nice.
I can't imagine anyone listens to this podcast. This is like total schizophrenic. I don't know what. Hell yeah. What? I don't know. You have any comments on that before we go back to crypto and talk about crypto for 3 minutes?
No, let's talk about crypto.
Okay. What's going on with Polygon? They had a reorg.
Yeah, I think yesterday they had they have a 550 block reorg.
Jeez.
Yeah, 150 block, which is a lot.
It's a couple minutes, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think if I remember correctly, they had reorg end of the last year as well. So like it
Wow.
happened already twice in a 2 month
Yeah.
or 3 month.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a lot. So like they need to think about, I don't know, some security or they need to, yeah, fix it. Really.
What I mean, do they know what happened? I'm reading this article. It says some nodes went out of sync. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
sure. What is that like? Well, why did that cause a reorg?
I know that happens, right?
Was it because Polygon is centralized?
Mm,
Because
probably.
if I think about Bitcoin or Ethereum, okay, if your nodes got to sync, then when they get back in sync, they just get the latest information.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
obviously, if your nodes are out of sync, that means your nodes are on the wrong chain, like, or in the wrong, not the wrong chain, but the wrong
Yeah.
uncle or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, and so proof of work, you get back in sync. You weren't the
Mm-hmm.
one doing the work. Other people were. You couldn't guess the numbers in time.
Yep.
Um, but I think maybe with a centralized one, your nodes get out of sync. They come back and say, "Hey, we're centralized. I'm the one who knows what's happening, and this is what I think happened." And then they have to reorg because for whatever reason, the nodes that were out of sync are the ones that are canonical and authoritative, which obviously doesn't exist in other chains. This is the reason
Yeah.
blockchains exist, was to solve this problem, so you didn't have centralization. So I guess I'm just not sure exactly what happened here. Um, the reorg was definitely outside the norm in size, some guy said.
Mm.
Just reading this article. Um, it overran our no-touch reorg correction mechanisms by at least a couple dozen blocks. So I guess that's the problem right there. Whatever these no-touch reorg correction mechanisms are, aka centralized bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, caused a lot of problems. I wonder how much MEV happened during that. That's got to be an exciting time.
Sure. I
Are
know.
people running
I know.
bots that are waiting for these reorgs and executing all kinds of crazy strategies?
Mm.
Like you said, it happens every couple months. But it's not uncommon that you have these bots running that are looking for things that happen every couple months.
Oh, yeah.
So that's exciting. I wonder if there was any fallout or anything like that. I'm reading up. Polygon scan was down for a little bit. That's all. Let's see here on Twitter. People are just laughing at Polygon. Yeah, no one seems to care. So who cares? No, but there you go. I mean, Polygon. We were talking very positively about Polygon last week, saying how it's become a big part of the Ethereum ecosystem. But keep in mind, it is quite centralized. So, speaking about centralized platforms, Coinbase launching Base, the blue version of Optimism. So kind of like Pokemon. You have Optimism Blue and you have Optimism Red. Launching their own roll up. You can start building on it. They've got the domain base.org, which is pretty based.
Wow.
Dear God. But yeah, so they're building basically a version of ZK rollup that the SEC, I'm sure, and FBI have their own Explorer that links directly into it, and they can see everything. I assume that's what the point of this is, right? It's a version of ZK rollup that's government sanctioned and that the government has the keys for, and they get to see everything. Am I crazy in thinking that's why they're doing this? Why else would they fork Optimism? Is it I for me, whatever. I don't use centralized exchanges, but I would think the most in terms of if you don't want the government seeing what you're doing, Coinbase has to be the worst exchange to use, right? So I think in terms of level 2s and ZK technology, if you don't want the government to see what you're doing, I would not use the one that Coinbase creates. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
They don't have a governance token, so this isn't really decentralized in any way. They're going to use ETH for gas as the gas token. So why would anyone use this? I assume the government's going to come along and say you have to use it if you're doing ZK stuff, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see anything in the announcement or anything that's like explaining why this is a good idea.
Base. Yeah. Wow.
Well, you check out their Twitter. Build on Base. Maybe they explain why you're supposed to do this. Yeah. The logo's cute.
Yeah, Ethereum. Wow. Okay.
Definitely, to me, seems like it glows. It definitely seems like something feds are involved in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. However, I will say that Gnosis Safe is a base partner. and, I am a member of the Gnosis Safe DAO. So yeah.
Mm,
I didn't get any early info on this. All right, so I don't know who decided. We
mm.
didn't vote on Snapchat to become a base partner. I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. And hey, you want to talk?
You should raise your concern.
Maybe I should. Yeah. No, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I actually don't have a
Yeah.
concern. I think it's good. But speaking of shitcoins of the week, if you just search about this on Twitter, you're gonna see all these fake tokens for it. So be careful out there. There is no token. Okay. There's no airdrop. There's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
So do not click any links. Be very careful. Okay.
Yep. When I'm looking at the base protocol token, which is like up 4,600%
Yeah.
in the last 24 hours.
Completely fake.
This is crazy.
Oh no, wait. Is this
Yeah.
like just another project that was called Base?
Yeah, base.
Nice.
The ticker is the base. Yep.
Nice. Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Yep.
Do you think this is a vampire attack? I guess Optimus was involved in doing this, and like they're
Mm.
very it's supposed to be very open. It's like one of their things. They want people
Yeah.
to build on their core like protocol open source. So
Right.
I guess it's not a vampire attack, but what is a vampire attack is Blur, the newest NFT marketplace that's airdropping people like crazy. Very similar to LooksRare and other groups that have done similar vampire style attacks on OpenSea. We have Blur airdropping like crazy. Blur.io. You get this is like OpenSea's big issue is that they never did a token, and so they're very easy to vampire attack. And we got Blur obviously doing that. No, I don't want to sign anything right now, but you can go to blur.io, which I think is the website. Don't quote me on that. Yeah. OpenSea. I mean, what can you even say about OpenSea? One of the most hated brands, I think, in Web3, right? At least that's how I think of it. Oh, wait, maybe my internet went down. You still there? Ay. Well, anyway, I'll continue the show. So anyway, yes, they are doing a vampire attack, very similar to Sushi Swap, I would say. And you can check it out if you want. I know a lot of people in the Lady ecosystem are checking it out. Certainly, it seems easy to game, or at least was in the past, easy to game the earlier airdrops by just listing things for ridiculous prices or making very low bids, etc. But yeah, OpenSea, I think at the smart contract level, they've contributed a lot. Oh, Kazuaki's back. I don't know if that was my internet or what, but lost you for a minute. I kept the show going.
Yeah, it was mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was saying OpenSea, one of the most hated brands in Web3. What do you think? Do you agree with that?
Which one?
OpenSea.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really have injured their reputation so many times by making kind of arbitrary decisions on verification of collections, banning NFTs, banning users. It's just part of that whole Silicon Valley VC culture of build a beloved product, a beloved brand, and then screw over your users to try to extract some value until everyone hates you. And then your company's ruined, and then the VCs go on to the next thing. So definitely that seems to be OpenSea's model. So now we have Blur. And I think you're going to see more of this because NFTs, there's a lot of space for the commodification of that service in terms of swapping, selling, buying. The idea of like the artist fees and stuff, which is optionally built into the protocol, obviously will go by the wayside at some point, I think.
Mm.
And a platform fee is OpenSea taking 2.5% or whatever it is that they take is kind of ridiculous as well.
Right.
So I will be checking out Blur. Here's one interesting thing they did that makes it very directly a vampire attack is that you get a bonus to your airdrop in this round, I believe, if you do not have any listings on OpenSea.
Mm.
So if you list both on Blur and on OpenSea, basically you will get a penalty in your airdrop. You can only list on Blur. So I got to take down all my
Yeah.
OpenSea listings.
Oh yeah.
I have been trying to sell my NFTs, by the way. No one is buying them. That's not good. I am trying to sell them for above floor, though. So I had this idea that
Yeah.
I would, because I feel like I have some ones with good traits, so I'm trying to put them closer to like the rare trait floor, you know? So not the actual floor, but the floor for the trait.
Yeah.
But no one seems to be biting there because I don't have anything super rare. So anyway, check out Blur. I think that's it. Oh wait, Japan news. Japan news segment.
Oh yeah.
Kazuraki, before the show, he was about to tell me something. I totally forget what it was, but I told him, stop. I want to hear about this on the show. So.
Okay. This week, you gotta learn some new Japanese slang called papakatsu. I think Dan, you already know it.
Oh, yeah.
Can you explain?
So it's if you're on Twitter in Japan, here's how I'll explain it. If you're on Twitter in Japan, you get spam messages all the time from these people that don't exist. They message you. They're talking about mamakatsu, which is when a woman would pay a man money for no reason, just because it's a rich woman who loves men, younger men or something. Obviously, that doesn't exist, and it's a total scam. But if you ever tweet in Japanese, or I don't know, you just get these spam bots all the time saying that they want to give you free money.
Yeah.
But the real world version of this is called papakatsu, where men give young women money for no reason. I assume it's to go on a date or something. I remember a long time ago I watched a movie in Japan that was called... It was called like JK Jump or something like that. It's a Japanese movie that is... I think like won awards at Sundance or something in the 90s. And it was about... What do they call it? Enjo Kosei or something.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Yep.
Yeah. So I think that was first time I heard about it. It's a great movie. It's very intense. Obviously, this is not something that people would do lightly, and so these high school girls have all kinds of mental health issues because they're basically like prostituting themselves. Also, in the anime Initial D, the guy's girlfriend does it. I remember that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You remember Initial D?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think it's in one of the first episodes. He's like talking about this girl that he likes or whatever, and then it cuts to her, and she's in like some really nice car with this older dude. They don't really spell it out, but she's a high school student. Obviously, the guy in the car is her father. So anyway, go ahead. Talk more about papakatsu.
Yeah. So papakatsu is really popular, especially in Tokyo, and like. Do you think those girls have multiple many papas, or like do you think they have like real boyfriend?
Yes, probably all of it. Probably a multiple.
All of it, right?
Yeah, of course.
And then obviously they would have kept their relationship in secret, right? But there's a Chinese version. There's a Chinese version of Instagram. I forgot what it called. But like, I don't know, random Chinese traveler take a picture of those papakatsu people in Ginza without any, like without covering their faces or not.
And that's a big thing here in Japan is you're not supposed to post photos online of people without their permission. You're supposed to blur their faces. True. Whereas in China, I know for a fact that they don't have that law. and that it's very common for people to
No.
post pictures of other people,
Hmm.
and it's
Hmm.
just a different
Yeah.
culture. The culture is completely different
Yeah.
in that one respect,
Hmm.
completely different. So
Completely different. Right.
yeah,
So like, I don't know. I don't know what their intentions are, like what they trying to do, but like they just take a snapshot of people in Ginza,
yeah,
like old man and a young woman couple, and they're
yeah,
like they're like maybe like part of like a fashion snap or something,
hmm,
but like they post random photos like all the time. So like the the woman who does
oh,
paparazzi get confused because what if other papa finds out, or like their real boyfriend finds out they're doing the paparazzi? So that was a
hmm,
big thing
oh,
like last
interesting.
week or so. Yeah, yeah.
I would
And
think
then like
that
even
everyone involved would
mhm,
know about it. Like or like if you
yeah,
if you were doing this, probably your boyfriend knows that you're doing it. Probably your boyfriend is pimping you out, to be honest. He's probably like forcing you to do it. This is my
maybe,
American
yeah,
perspective.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
it's different in Japan, but certainly in
Yeah, yeah.
America, women
I,
usually don't
yeah,
do this type of thing without being like
hmm,
told to by their
yeah,
boyfriend
yeah.
or
That's
husband
true.
or pimp.
That's true. Yeah,
And then I think if you were like one of
true.
the people that like was dating these girls, you would know. Obviously, if you're 60 years old and the girl
Mm,
you're dating is 20, she probably has a different boyfriend too, right?
I know. I
But
know.
maybe it's
Yeah.
different in Japan. That the expectation is that you're Leonardo DiCaprio and she's 20-year-old model, and it's just normal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's crazy because like even the woman on the picture say, like original like owner of the photo say, hey, can you remove that photo that you posted on your Chinese
Yeah,
version of Instagram? And then they completely ignore your message. So
yeah.
like yeah, you can still see those pictures.
Wow. I guess
Yeah.
it's interesting because there's laws here in Japan where I think these people who are having their photos taken and posted could sue these whoever's posting it, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
press
Yeah.
criminal
Yeah.
charges. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess if they're Chinese, then they're already
Yeah.
gone or
Yeah.
whatever. They're not even here
Mm-hmm.
anymore. This would be very difficult to sue them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so,
Very interesting
are
one.
people trying to figure out who these people are and like blow them up and all this stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that sucks. I think
That's so.
I wonder if they have that in China, like sugar baby,
Mm.
whatever.
I'm pretty sure they have.
You think so? Because I feel like in China they have. I feel like prostitution is a lot more normalized. At least that's
Mm.
what I've heard.
Oh, okay.
It's quite
Yeah.
normalized here as well in Japan, but I
Mm.
think in China
Yeah.
it's even more normalized. And so
Wow.
you don't need to have. Well, I don't know much about it, but like in my mind, you have this because it's like people are doing prostitution without like filing government paperwork and stuff like that, right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
so that's why people do it. But in China,
Right.
I think that government paperwork like doesn't even exist. There's the barrier to entry is a lot
Mm.
lower. So if you're a girl who wants to do
Yeah.
prostitution, it's just like very easy to just do it without having
Mm.
to come up with an elaborate scheme of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
dating and I don't know what. Because at least that's what I
Yeah.
heard. Like if you do business in China and you like go to China on business trips, you like could be offered. I could be totally wrong because I haven't gone to China, but you
Mm.
could be offered like
Mm.
prostitutes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
they call, I think
Yeah, I
they
heard
refer to it
you
as
have
like
to.
going to karaoke, but actually when you show up to the
Oh
karaoke
wow.
place, there's like prostitutes in the
Really?
karaoke booth with you. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh God. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know. Does that
Yeah.
exist in Japan? Maybe I just don't know about it.
Maybe somewhere in Shinjuku.
Yeah,
Probably. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's like that in like Thailand and stuff like that too. That they use like the term
Yeah.
karaoke as
Yeah.
a euphemism for prostitution.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I have no idea, to be honest.
Interesting.
I'm just being racist at this point. Wow, interesting stuff. What could people look up on Twitter to see this drama? Is there something you could search for?
uh, yeah, I totally forgot how we can find it. Let me do a real search here. Okay.
What Papa Katsu? Papa means father, right? Does
Father.
katsu mean like
Yeah.
cutlet, or is it a different word?
No, it's what is called like movement or action.
Oh,
Like
okay,
shukatsu. It's like shukatsu. It's like recruiting or kind of like
okay.
the action you try to get the job is a katsu means. So
Oh,
like
okay.
papa katsu means like the action you try to find
Yeah,
the sugar daddy.
I see. I thought it was like
Yeah.
your dad is buying you a ham cutlet. I really
That'd be
thought it
cool.
had something to do with that.
Papa katsu. That'd be really cool.
Like the ham cutlet is a euphemism for a Louis Vuitton bag or something.
Oh
I don't know.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, the Chinese version of Instagram called Red,
Red.
RED.
Okay.
Yeah. And then um I don't know how to find it.
Is it called
But like I think
Xiaohongshu? Something like that.
yeah.
Xiaohongshu.
Yeah. Red Instagram.
If you search red
I think
China,
so.
you're not gonna find anything. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I guess search China
Just
Ginza
yeah.
Papakatsu something.
Yeah.
You have to
Okay. I'll
you have to
share it
search
to
it
you in
in
the chat
Japanese,
here.
I think. So
Yeah. Yeah. This one.
yeah. Chugoku. Oops. Welcome to the part of the
So
show where
yeah.
we Google things. Ginza SNS. That's what they call social media.
Mm.
Nah, I
Yeah.
can't find anything. Well,
Do,
anyway.
do, do you see the did you see the Twitter that I shared with you
No.
in the chat?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna look for it.
Yeah. These are the actual posts of the rat.
Oh. Oh, I see. It's
Yeah,
like
they
yeah,
cover their faces.
fashion
Yeah.
photographer.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Trying to capture like cool couples, but they're obviously targeting like papakatsu girls.
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Seems. Yeah, these people need to just take advice from Leonardo DiCaprio and not care.
For sure.
All right. Well, that was our Japan segment. Thank you,
Yeah.
Kazuaki, for bringing the latest anti-Chinese racist it's Japanese trends. No, it's not true at all. We love China, but that is an interesting, interesting
Yeah.
conflict of cultures there. I'll say that.
Mm. Yeah.
It's so interesting. Before we end, I watch a lot of travel vloggers, you know,
Yeah.
and when I watch the ones that are in China, their videos are so interesting because they have their camera, they go into stores, they go up to random people and just start filming them and talking to them. And if you were to do that in
Hmm.
Japan, you get punched in the face. Like it's considered so
Oh
rude
yeah.
to just go into a store or go up to someone and start filming them.
Yeah.
But in China, it's
Yeah.
not considered rude at all. They have no problem with it whatsoever. Undoubtedly,
Yeah.
it's because of communism. And I think of like secret police and the idea that
Mm.
you're a collective and you don't have those same kind of individual rights. If I had to guess why,
Mm.
but it's one area where I think the Chinese response to social media and your
Mm.
rights in public as an individual over your image and stuff. I like the way China does it more than Japan. That's just me personally. I
Right.
think they have a
Me
very
too.
healthy attitude about it. Like it's healthy.
Hmm. Me too.
It's healthy to not have a problem with it. Having a problem with it, it seems like,
Hmm.
why do you have a problem with it, right? Like if
Yeah.
you're in public, you're not going into someone's home and filming them, right? But anyway,
Right.
you probably could do that in China and people wouldn't care. So, um,
Mm.
all right, folks, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week if the AI allows it. The singularity doesn't happen between now and then. So stay tuned for next week's Shitcoin of the Week, latest Japan controversies, and so much more here on Something About Web3. Oh, wait, wait. OpenSea dropped their fee to 0%. Okay, now the
Really?
show's over. Yep, I just saw it. Now the show's over. Bye, everyone.
Okay. All right.